Alright, welcome back, it's Ryzen, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a Fire Punch tier list. I have a friend with me to help me make the list, and yeah, we're just going to get started. Alright, so there's it's a pretty small list, so I think there should only be one S tier character to just kind of preserve the what do you call it? What's the word?
It's a French word. I know what you're talking about. It's a French word. I just don't know what it is.
The
Je me pi. Oh fuck it. Cut this part out.
All right, to preserve the value of this tier, this S tier, there should only be one character in S tier. So, who is your vote for who gets the S tier pick?
Those guys all look the same. Is Rock Lee on here?
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
How come you don't have that girl with like a huge rack and she like rides like a spear or a lance or something? I'm talking about the girl that had metal manipulation and she could like ride around on a sword.
Dude, to be honest, I don't even remember
huge
that.
Titties and she was naked.
What?
She wasn't naked. She was like in a bikini, but I liked it.
All right, fine. Since you're retarded, I guess my vote for the S tier would have to be Togata for S tier. What do you think?
No.
Why not?
Listen, I love the director as much as anyone. All right. A huge fan of the director. I think in terms of the characters in this roster, you know, probably definitely up there. And I can see why you'd put her up there, you know. Very humorous, brings a lot of like uniqueness to an already very unique manga. But the thing of the matter is, you gotta think about it like this, Jeremiah. You gotta think about it like this, right? Or should I call you Raisin? You gotta think about it like this, Raisin. I like the director, but I don't think she was the best character, the best written character, like in the whole thing.
Okay, who do you think was?
Gotta be Agni. Gotta be Agni.
I do think that Agni is the best written character, but in terms of like just pure enjoyment, I really enjoyed the director more than Agni, just me. So what is your case? Do you think we should go Agni in S tier because he's the best written character in the series?
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is a character tier list, not a likability tier list, you know?
Yes, but...
Nah, you're completely wrong. I wrote a bunch of notes, read a couple notes. I consulted various Reddit threads. I compiled a bunch of sources, and Agni's got a cooler power, dude.
Alright, whatever. Alright, well, we'll put him in here for a placeholder. Okay. I think out of this list, there should probably only be one person in Cheeks. Do you think anybody deserves to be in Cheeks besides Agni? Deserves to be in his sister's Cheeks. This is the brainwashed Judah, correct?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So you got two different Judas?
Yeah.
Should probably explain that.
Nah. Okay, so I think Luna belongs in Cheeks because she just died and she was just... Her impact on the story, I feel like it wasn't even that great. I feel like she was mainly used as a device, just a plot device for Agni's initial motivation. And so she didn't really do much beyond that. Would you agree?
Luna is a S tier babe, bro. Let me just say that. Luna, absolutely gorgeous. Gotta agree with Agni on this one. Definitely Cheeks tier. Yeah.
Moving on. Let's just go in order from here. I'd say Togata has to be A tier. I don't think I can put her any lower than that. Would you agree?
Can we only have one S tier? Honestly, dude,
I think we should keep only one S tier to kind of preserve its special meaning. I don't think that there should be like, because it's such a small list, there shouldn't be like 50 S tiers on there.
Dude, Togata's fucking really threw me for a loop, you know, like throughout the whole thing. I never knew what she was thinking.
Yeah.
Like it turns out she's like a transgender.
Yeah, that part was actually really good.
I did not expect that at all, you know. It was insane. It was absolutely
It was interesting
crazy
too because like she wanted to get like a procedure done to become like a full proper transgender, but she couldn't because her regenerative abilities, like it wouldn't let her, you know. That's kind of crazy. Like she couldn't even cut her own titties off. That's wild. That has a lot of other implications too. Wait, does that mean that Agni could never be circumcised because of his regen?
That's definitely what that means.
Dang.
Foreskin for the win.
Okay, I think there's a lot of people that are gonna like, they think that like a lot of Togata's character is kind of just comic relief, but I'd actually argue the contrary. I think that she really is like, she carries the story for in the beginning, at least in terms of like I remember in the beginning when it was kind of implied that she was an antagonist, and I actually thought that she was going to be the main villain. And it was kind of like where she didn't even care about Agni. She just cared about, you know, her movie, and she was willing to sacrifice Agni's life and Agni's happiness just for her movie. And then she showed that she not only didn't care about Agni, she didn't care about anybody when she actually, I don't know if there was people in those buildings, but remember when she pulled up to that huge town and she just blew up all the buildings like a psychopath? I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
It's kind of crazy how desensitized she was to everything, like to the point where she could like legit just take people's lives without giving a shit just because of how long she lived. Like a lot of people, when posed with the question of whether or not they would live forever, they always say yes, you know, because, you know, fucking humans have like that natural fear of death, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, like to live that long, humans aren't supposed to live that long. First of all, they're not supposed to live for like hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know, dude. It just seems very realistic, her character, to be like void of a lot of emotions, a lot of basic traits that most humans would have because of how long she has lived.
I think this is why a lot of those regens, they ended up taking those like suicide pills specifically so they wouldn't end up like a psychopath like her.
I think it's a little unsensitive for you to be calling her a psychopath just because of her gender dysmorphia. I think that's a little
okay. That's
not very woke of you.
All right, what did you think about her death? I think, in my opinion, I felt it was really forced, and I would have liked to see her in the story a lot more. And I thought that I felt like the story as a whole kind of suffered from her absence, even though there was still a lot going on that when she wasn't there. I still feel like the story was better when she was there, and her death, it was really sudden in my opinion. What do you think?
Dude, her death was actually so stupid. I thought it was really dumb. Like, Agni just fucking carelessly falls into like a pit of water, dude. And like, nah, I liked her death. I thought it was necessary. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna put up this charade. I'm not gonna agree with you anymore. I really thought her death was necessary at this point because like it allowed the focus to shift, you know, to completely shift actually, because
to
like
a worse story.
Literally. What the fuck did you just say?
To a worse story. It literally just made the story worse when she died.
Okay, all right. See, if you folks aren't familiar, right? Jeremiah or Raisin thinks that the story towards the end is actually a lot worse than the beginning.
It is,
and he rates it exactly the same as a romance anime known as Rent a Girlfriend, which is literally just about
bro,
jerking off.
I'm done.
Dude.
You're literally mentally enslaved, intellectually molested, ideologically molested. I'm keeping her at A tier. We're moving on. Also, her last words. Wait. Her last words pissed me off so much. I think that was horrible. I think Fujimoto. I think he told us on purpose because, like, she was like monologuing to herself. She was like, "Oh, what should my last words be? I guess there'll be something wholesome about my mother." And then she was like, "Agni, live." And I was like, oh my gosh, literally just repeating the same words as his dead sister. It's just horrible.
Dude, that was not trolling. That was just good writing on his part.
Yeah,
I don't know. She couldn't have said anything else. That's what I think he was going for.
Yeah, but everybody dies and says that. It pisses me off. It's too sad. Nah, I liked it. Okay, we need to move on from this talk area. Let's go to Doma. What do you think about Doma? Where would you put him?
A tier.
Huh?
A tier.
Yo, speak up, bro.
Doma is A tier. Doma is
okay, I agree with you on that. You think he's above or below whatever her name is? Togata.
That's tough, dude. Like, the amount of change and like the perspective that he provides is like it's super unique.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. But the director herself is like has such a fucking, you know, like appeal.
I'd say he goes behind her, but it's very close. Like, they're kind of interchangeable. I would personally, like, if this was like 100% my list, I would be like this. But like, I kind of understand where you're coming from, and I kind of tend to agree with you a little bit. So I think this is a good overall good ranking. I think my favorite part about Doma was when Agni met him again, and he was like fishing or whatever, providing for the village of like young children. And then Agni was basically like, oh, so like I know you regret it, right? I know you're like really sorry for doing what you did. I know you didn't mean it. And he was like, nah, if I could do it over again, I'd burn your village again. And he was like, it's because your people were stupid, terrible people. They were cannibals, and once you died, they would continue to resort to cannibalism, and it would just create a non-stop cycle of uneducated, idiotic cannibals. He just said this to this dude's face. Like, holy crap. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was an incredible, like, just moment right there. I love that, and just for that alone, I would keep him in A tier. What do you think?
Yeah, that's why that guy fucking burned to death. He's an asshole. Yeah, put that guy in Cheeks tier. Never mind. Can't believe he said that to Agni.
Yeah, he got like the Sasuke Amaterasu ability though. It's kind of cool. I think his ability is probably like coolest ability besides like obviously Agni having his ability plus the regen and the torch or whatever. All right. What do you think about Judah? Where would you put Judah? This is like the I think this is the Judah before she got brainwashed. So this is just normal Judah.
C tier.
I totally agree. Yeah. I don't even have much to say about her. I think she was just kind of forgettable.
Kind of went through like the same shit the director went through, but just not as interesting, really.
Yeah,
like
I totally
she was
agree.
one of the humans that lived for as long as the Ice Witch, I think. But I don't think her character was that interesting as the other characters.
Yeah, I don't think she was as interesting as the other characters, but in a manga like this, that kind of, as you can see by the size of the tier list, it has a very compact selection of characters. And I do think that there was some interesting moments. I think that, as I mentioned in my character analysis, that she ends up like eventually getting to the point where she tells Agni, and this is, I think, after Agni thinks that Doma is dead. She tells Agni that he doesn't want to kill her because either it'll make him have completely zero target for revenge, or it'll completely make him lose hope that his sister is alive. And so she's kind of like analyzing Agni's will to live, and just kind of able to pick them apart like that. I think that's pretty cool, but that was the only thing I really remembered about her at all.
Yeah, never mind. Put her, she stays in C tier. I remember that too. That was pretty freaking insane right there, man.
But I feel like any character could have delivered that. I feel like the director, if that came from the director, I feel like it actually would have been even better. But I think, again, I kind of think that this Judah was just like a filler character for this Judah. I kind of think we should just segue right into this Judah, which is like more important and more memorable, because this one really only. You think so? B tier. There's no way. There's no way. You're putting her with Doma and Togata? Are you kidding me?
Is this like also including Judah post time skip?
Yes, this is all of Judah after she got amnesia.
All right, then yeah, fucking A tier, dude.
How so?
That was insane, dude. Like her entire character is like probably one of like the most fucked up things I've ever read. Like the entire premise of Agni creating a different person and taking advantage of her memory loss in a sense is just like so twisted.
But that's all Agni though. That's Agni's character. That had nothing to do with her. She was just like basically childlike. She just could do nothing but accept it and trust, and she even knew that something was wrong, and she didn't even say anything. She was like, oh, the only thing on her mind was, oh, if we're not related, I can whatever. What's the term for it? Wait, what's the term for human reproduction again?
Cleveland steamer, I think, was one.
Wait, what did you say?
A Cleveland steamer, Jeremiah.
Cleveland
we saw that
steamer?
One.
Dude!
Alright, you can't tell me you haven't done that.
Alright, yeah, I've never done a Cleveland steamroller before, I'm sorry.
I think the whole premise of a character that just loses all of their memories, it's almost like Judah fucking dies, dude. It's like a whole new Judah. And I think like Rebirth and shit like that. Like Rebirth is a very important theme that comes up in Fire Punch, I think. And I think Judah's character goes through a lot of fucking rebirths, dude. A lot of personality changes, not through her own volition, of course. But I don't know. I guess, you know what, B tier is fine. I'll settle with B tier.
Okay. All right. Next, I don't even know her name. I'm thinking Cheeks.
I like that character.
Do you know her name?
I don't know her name. Oh man. But I don't think she's worse than Judah. I liked seeing her on screen.
But no, like she didn't do anything. She was in she's in the bus, she was filming Agni, and then she really just kind of fell off as a character. She lost all spotlight, and then she came back after the time skip to warn Agni and Judah about that the people were coming to take her. And then didn't she go back on her word and just come raid at the night anyways? So she kind of backstabbed a little bit. She ended up just doing nothing.
Yeah, I suppose I agree.
I'm putting her in Cheeks. You agree?
Yeah, I suppose.
Let's do Ice Witch. I'm gonna say B tier. Yeah, I think B tier for one reason only, and that's because her entire will to live and her reason for literally destroying like a chunk, like it wasn't literally galaxies of planets she was just absorbing energy from, for the sole reason of living in a world where a human could be born that would end up recreating the entirety of Star Wars and end up finishing it. That was just ridiculous. I think a motivation like that is something so hilarious and so unique that it gets like C or B tier by default. But also her character was horrible because she got killed off immediately by Sun before she could even do anything of any significance at all. I thought she was gonna be the main villain, but she wasn't.
Why are you hovering over C? Don't put her in C. You're not putting her in C, okay?
It's either C or B.
Dude, anytime the ice switch like came up, like in the first couple of issues, like when they talked about the ice switch, and then I actually saw her for the first time, and like at the end of the issue, I remember this like clearly when Agni's like talking to her, and she's like, "I'm the ice switch." I got literal goosebumps, dude. I think any character that manages to do that is like a pretty good character.
But I think that's
and she does that a lot, dude.
Yeah, but at that moment in the story, she was a very prominent character. She did a lot. And then we immediately cut away to Agni and Judah going and living in that house. We go to the time skip. And then right after the time skip, she just dies. So she really does nothing. I feel like she's just a device. She gives us some humor, and then she serves to introduce that whole tree thing, that weird concept. And that's it. That's all she's used for. There's no development. There's no anything else really.
Feels like a lot of the characters are seems pointless. Like a lot of depths just like ends up fucking, I don't know.
I think
like all the ice which fucking worked for, all in vain. Just 'cause she gets like one tapped, which was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, but I think this character right here, and to an extension, these two characters right here, I think they kind of serve as a perfect example of how Fujimoto has really taken his writing and improved it a lot in Chainsaw Man, where like every single character has like a complete arc, and their deaths feel actually feel like good, rather than just stuff like this where he's just like killing characters out of absolutely nowhere. And I think that this right here is an example of how Fujimoto had ideas and plans for the character, and they just fell short because of deadlines. That's what I think. So I think C tier is good for this character. Do you object strongly, or are you good?
I object. I gotta object with that.
Yeah, I'm not listening to you. Yeah.
Remember when Agni burned down Doma's entire village?
Yeah.
And killed like all his kids and shit?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, and I was like comparing it to the Ice Witch character, and I guess C tier is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not even the actual Ice Witch, because the Ice Witch doesn't exist. Whatever.
Yeah, but you know, they had me going for like a little bit. Really thought it was the Ice Witch.
I think the fact that she revealed that she was the Ice Witch and her whole Star Wars meme really puts her. Actually, I think she's here. Would you say so?
Where's that? Above
Judah.
Above Judah?
Yeah. Oh, wait, like this.
Yeah.
This.
Fuck Judah.
Yeah. And I think that those two propelled her to where she is. If even one of those aspects was missing, just straight cheeks. But because she had those two things going for her, I think she's C tier. All right, so for Sun, I'm saying either B or A tier. I'm comfortable with either one. I think before time skip, he was not very interesting at all. But I do like the scene where he was in that torture camp, and he was kind of preaching about Agni. And then the prisoners were like, I remember somebody saying something like, "Hey, I want you to tell that story again. Like, even if it's a lie, I don't care. It's motivating me. It's keeping me alive. I'm finding a reason to live just from your words right now." I thought that was really cool. And I think stuff like that ended up fueling his character development. And we see a lot of off-screen development from Sun. And then after the time skip happens, he's just a whole different, like, he's insanely strong. I thought that was really cool how he got a really big power up. I thought his lightning abilities were probably the coolest in the series, besides maybe Agni. And he represented this theme of blind faith, and I thought it was really interesting. And I also thought it was interesting how he kind of became a cult leader.
Definitely agree with you on the blind faith part. Like, literally the way he dies, you know, he just like goes up to Agni and like, I don't know, just proclaims him like his lord, and like tries to touch him, and Agni's like, "Who the fuck are you?" that was pretty funny. Then he just burns to death, and it just seems like kind of another pointless death. But like, I guess, of course, he had to die.
I kind of disagree. I think that death was very fitting. I think for him to die in the way he did, I thought it was a yeah, it was a very fitting death for his character and everything he stood for. It was really ironic, and I thought it was nicely done.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, that was like one of the only fight scenes that I really enjoyed when he fought against Agni, you know? And he did like that massive lightning attack that cleared the entire village. He did like a sentinel beam like into a house where Agni was or some shit. Like Agni just stood up and he was like, I don't know, dude. Wasn't he like levitating or something?
Yeah, he could fly. But I just kind of thought of this right now. I think the main thing about him is that he doesn't really idolize Agni. I don't think so. I think what he likes, what he's so captivated by, is the idea of a god, the idea of somebody that's gonna save him, the idea of something that doesn't conform to the world. I think that whole idea is what really attracts him to Agni, because when he fights Agni, he tells Agni, "You're not the Agni I knew," and I think that's basically him realizing that Agni is not actually a god. You know, he's matured more, so he sees Agni again and he's like, holy crap, this guy is not actually a god. And when he realizes that, he doesn't think that he's wrong, his own ideas are wrong. He thinks that Agni is the one who's wrong, and he thinks that Agni is the one who changed. He has this like ridiculous obsession with the idea of a being that can transcend their society rather than the idea of Agni himself being a god, and I don't think he's actually loyal to Agni. Would you agree with that?
You know, that kid's kind of an asshole. Yeah, lower him down a couple tiers.
You think so?
Put him down a couple tiers.
I was gonna go like this,
No, I'm
dude.
just kidding,
I was
dude.
gonna go like this. I think this right here is a near perfect list with the characters we were given.
I like how he not manipulated. He got like a bunch of he got an absurd amount of people to follow him. This world is like completely messed up, dude. It's like a world where rape is like commonplace, like murder. You have to murder to get by.
Did he get
Like
raped by a
cannibalism in
dog?
this world. He was gonna get raped by a dog. This fucking scientist wanted to have his dog fuck him or something. And like
That was unironically one of my favorite scenes in the whole show, because I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this dude? Is he gonna rape him? What is he gonna do? And I'm like, oh, this dude's actually really nice. Okay. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a really big dog person, you know, I love dogs. He's like, yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna get naked and you're gonna bend over for my dog. Like, what the hell? That was just.
And then he gets so mad when it turns out Son's a dude. He's like, oh man, you're a guy. He can't even bang you anymore. That's gay. That's totally wrong. And
it was wrong. Now it's immoral.
yeah, never mind. I remember Son got his like legs cut off, and he was like, he didn't even like scream or anything. He was just like, oh shoot, my legs.
Yeah, this happens in the show, dude, because it kind of goes. I think Fujimoto's really trying to like accentuate the fact that these characters are so nearly accustomed to like this horrible suffering, right? So like when Agni gets relit on fire by Doma's grandson, he's just like, hey, don't ever use that ability again. And he just walks away. It's like, holy crap, your body is an indistinguishable flame and you're just chilling. Like, dang, bro.
Agni's entire freaking ability about him like constantly being on fire could be you know, interpreted as like a I guess like a metaphor for like the entire state of the world, where it's just bone. Everyone's in a constant state of suffering. Everyone's starving. Everyone knows they're gonna die. It's like hopeless.
Dang, dude. So basically, Agni is the world. That's crazy, bro. All right. Thank you guys very much for making it to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Consider leaving a like if you enjoyed the video. Also consider subscribing. I have a Fire Punch playlist with 2 other Fire Punch videos, an overall review, and an Agni character analysis. They're going to be linked in the description. Yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, take care, guys.
You see crib shit? No. You see crib shit? No. You see crib...